Good day guys, welcome back to another episode of U-Boat on U764. It's the 5th of March 1945, so we are really closing in towards the end of the war now. Hopefully you enjoyed the last episode. It was my first episode recording after a 6-week holiday, so it wasn't really the best. But hopefully we're going to improve on this episode and get back into the swing of things. I pretty much forgotten the controls on the previous episode and how to function the game properly, but we still did alright. We took a few ships down and all that, but we didn't do quite as well as we would have liked. So hopefully we can redeem ourselves in this episode, so I hope you enjoy it. So here we are on the battle map, so we're heading up again towards the north of the UK to AM2 and AM3, and we're going to sink 10,000 tons worth of enemy shipping in the area. Well, it doesn't have to be in the area, it just has to be anywhere, but we have to patrol that sector. And if you just have a look at the map there, you can see that pretty much the only thing left for the Allies to do is to take Germany itself. So we are kind of running out of options. We still have our port in Norway that we can be in, but it's not going to last too much longer, I don't think. I don't know what happens at the end of the war. If it lets us continue, then we will. But if we get a message saying that we have to surrender and all that, then I guess that'll be the end of the campaign, and I don't really know what to do next. Would you like to see more U-Boat after this? Or should we move on and play a different game? You'll have to let me know in the comments what you think about that. Okay, here we go. So, alright, we've got an incoming message from BDU. I was just going to say, I've just plotted out a course to go to our patrol sector, but we'll just get this guy to intercept this message first, see what they've got for us. So they're transporting a valuable prototype on board the MS Sorland, heading towards Murmansk. Okay, and they are in our patrol sector. Well, that's good, we're heading there anyway. I was heading around the north of Scapa Flow because I didn't want to interfere with too many enemy warships because it's a highly patrolled area. So I was coming around the north of that for security. But now we have a patrol that's heading right into our path, so that's pretty lucky. So we've plotted out a little interception course here. I think it said it was about 60 something degrees that they were doing, so we'll just get into a good position here and we'll wait for them to approach, and then we'll hit them with a surprise attack and probably do the usual method of trying to take out any escorts that are on the outside of the convoys, and then we'll try and close in and take down the freighters unless our target ship comes up first. Okay, they're in hydrophone range of us now, so let's just let them close in a little bit more. We'll get our red lights on so we can see a little bit better, and we'll see what it is that we're dealing with. I've already had a quick look at some of the ships, and the MS Sorland is actually the Empire freighter that is closest to us, as it quite normally seems to be. Whenever I get a target ship, it's normally the one that's right at the front and unescorted almost, just ready for an open shot. So we are going to pop a shot off straight away at the MS Sorland, try and get rid of that, and that'll be mission complete in terms of that part. Still have to do the 10,000 tons as well, but that should be quite easy. There's plenty of ships here for the taking now, and there's also a destroyer or cruiser or something close by to the MS Sorland here, which we're probably going to launch a torpedo at that as well. That's closest to us, so it's going to be 2 torpedoes just to make sure we do the job, and if we do miss, get them going to the right a little bit. So tubes 2 and 3, fire those off, and then I think we've got a T5 in tube number 5, which is a self-homing missile, so we should probably launch that at this thing here. It's hard to tell what they are, but it's fairly easy to find. It's one of the only ships that's got 3 masts, 3 funnels right next to each other. So there it is, county class. Again doing 7 knots. Just need to get the distance roughly right. The thing is with this T5, it might end up also going for the MS Sorland, possibly another ship, because it just kind of hones in on whatever's making the most noise around it. So if you do miss, well, even if you send it off in the right area, it can deviate and go towards a different ship. So we'll start heading northeast. Let our 2 torpedoes head towards the MS Sorland a little bit, and then we will pop some shots off, and hopefully our T5 will, hopefully it will cause enough damage to this enemy warship here. So I don't think we've recognized it as what we think it looks like, county class. I don't know if it is that. Just have another quick look through the manual here. So it's only, could be one of these, eh? So we'll go 7 knots. Distance wise is the only real thing that we need to get right. So at least it's going to launch the torpedo, and hopefully it's just going to home right in on it and cause a bit of damage. So that's tube 5 flooded. Away. Well, we're off to a good start. 2 good hits there on the MS Sorland, and she is surely going to be done for. These little freighters can't take much more than a 2 torpedo hit. Very rarely they'll take a third. So she's fully damaged, and we just need water to go on board and let that sink now. And we've also got the T5 on its way to its target. Hopefully it hasn't deviated just yet. Hopefully it doesn't head towards this sinking boat here, because that would just be a miss if it does. But that looks like mission accomplished in terms of taking down the enemy research there. So yeah, our torpedo is on the way. It's not at the best angle at the moment, but I think it will change right there. Yeah, perfect. So here it comes. Should hit her right on the stern. Right on the propellers is where we want to see it hit, and hopefully it's going to cause enough damage to either sink it or at least incapacitate it, or... There we go. Good hit. Just what we wanted. She looks like she's slowing right down. Almost coming to a complete stop there. 50% damage. Hopefully that's going to continue to go down. Didn't get a fire on board though, which would have helped us out quite a bit. But hopefully that's going to be lagging behind the rest of the convoy now and not cause us too much of an issue. But yeah, she doesn't look like she's very good. The whole back of the ship's underwater now. So yeah, hopefully she can't stick with the convoy, and then we can just kind of pick our shots. But for now, I think we're going to have to dip our boat underwater and keep travelling northeast, and then we'll have to intercept the convoy when once they've calmed down a little bit from this attack here. They've just lost a ship and a half pretty much. But I don't think this one's going to go down, unfortunately. She's just going to carry on sailing just like that. That's fine, we'll finish her up later on. Alright, we're with the convoy now. We've just done a check on them previously, and they're doing about 6 knots, which is a little bit slow. So I just want to double check before we take our shot with the torpedo, because knowing my luck, they'll speed up as soon as I fire the torpedo and we'll end up missing. stop the clock there. 7 knots. Just as I suspected, they would have changed their speed. So definitely worth waiting. If a ship's doing 6 or 9 or 8 knots, just hang about and wait for them to do 7, because it's going to make sure that you end up hitting more targets than not. So it's tube 3 and 4 are going to go, and that should be enough, hopefully, to take down the C3. They can be a little bit hearty sometimes. Kind of like to take a few more torpedoes. You need to get lucky with the 2 hits though. So there's not really much else that we can pop a shot off right now, so we'll lower up our scope and keep moving again and wait for another attack. Well, we're 4 from 4 in terms of torpedo hits so far. We haven't missed anything yet. Don't want to speak too soon, but there's 2 good hits on the C3. She does not look too healthy at all. She's got about 80% damage now, and flooding is happening as we speak. So hopefully that fire is going to finish the job up for us, which it looks like it will. She is listing seriously to the port. Doesn't look good for this C3, and that is pretty much going to guarantee us our 10,000 tons of tonnage that we need. So that is pretty much mission accomplished. Just need to do our patrol sector, but I don't think we're going to get to that for a little while yet, because this convoy is heading away. So this C3 must have a little air pocket or something on board, because she is just gonna sit right there, and we'll have to finish her up with the deck guns, so we'll keep moving. She's drifting. Okay, we better let her rest right there, I think, and we'll put a new marker down, and then once we finish up with the convoy, we'll come back and just use our deck gun to sink that. So now we want to get over to the other side of the convoy, because I've spotted some larger ships. I think there was some more C3s and Liberties and stuff like that on this side of the convoy, and on the left side, as we're looking at it, is just all little stuff. So what are we dealing with? We've got one of those big Russian cruisers. Would be nice to get rid of that. Another cruiser. There's a big escort in this convoy here. They'll pretty much use up all of our torpedoes if we just want to take out the escorts, and we won't have enough to sink the bigger stuff that's got the guns on it. I'm getting a bit close to these destroyers here. Yeah, they're pinging us. Okay, so now it's our turn to be on evasive maneuvers, and we'll have to get one of our engineers here to go and throw out a decoy. Make sure that we are not bombarded with any bombs, and then hopefully we'll make a clean getaway, and we'll pop ourselves back up and go for another attack on the convoy. I think it's probably going to be a wise choice to get rid of something escort wise. Probably the larger Russian Kirov class would be a good target, because if we're having a surface engagement, that thing will just tear us to pieces. These other little destroyers can probably wait. We can attack them at a later point if we have anything left, but for now it's all about evasive maneuvers and waiting for them to calm down and picking us a new opportunity. So here we got the Kirov class Russian cruiser. Definitely want to be taking this thing down. It's a little bit annoying that we don't get credit for it in terms of tonnage. They do recognize that you sink it, but they don't give you anything for tonnage. So we just want to do a quick speed check here, make sure that she's not cruising too fast, and we're not going to miss. Okay, 7 knots. She is ready for the taking. I just want to double check her angle. So it's pretty steep. Maybe around about 15 degrees or so. Just use the protractor north to south and up to there. So 9-10 degrees ish. Not too bad. We'll just leave it there. We've only got cold torpedoes. Well, we're going to send 2, and we've got to hope that they detonate, because otherwise it's just a complete waste, but we don't have time to waste right now, so fire. Another 2 good hits there on this massive cruiser. A huge fire on board as well. And hopefully that should be the end of that. Well, that should fully incapacitate this ship, I think. Just get a screenshot there for the thumbnail. About time I changed my thumbnail. I've only been using a couple for the whole series. Don't really like to spend too much time on thumbnails there. So we might as well use this opportunity to talk about what happens after this campaign. I was thinking of maybe doing a first-person only campaign for U-Boat, or maybe another different game. Probably a war game still, but it might not be World War II, it might not be any historical wars. It might just be a modern day kind of strategy shooter kind of game. Don't really know which one, or maybe I do go with a historical game. You'll have to let me know what you think. There are options out there. If you want more U-Boat, then I'm happy to do that, and if you want to change up the game, then I'll put a poll up on YouTube and come up with a few options, and we'll see whatever people want to play is what people want to watch is what we'll play. So we've got rid of the Kirov, and now we're going to be having to outmaneuver these guys again. Probably going to have to come around for a new approach, but they're going to be a little while before they calm down. So there's still plenty of destroyers and cruisers, kind of really right in the way for us, to be fair. We just want to get in here and cause damage, and they are kind of stopping me from doing that. But I think what I'm going to do, surface up, and this cruiser that's behind us is going to be eating a T5, so that will put a slow down to 2 of the cruisers. Hopefully we can finish off at another time, unless this torpedo can finish this cruiser off right now. Jesus, it's choppy here. It's 6 meters up above the boat. Okay, so where are you? You're kind of pretty much directly behind us, and we don't need to be too accurate with the measurements for the torpedo, because it will just hone in on it. So come on, where are you? There you are. That's what we want. So recognize this. It's got 3 masts. County class is what we'll go with. Speed, just make it up. Course, fairly accurate, and distance, well within range. Still don't have any warm torpedoes. What's going on? So it's a T5 on the way. Hopefully it's going to destroy that. Tube number 5, fire. Well, we've got another strike there with the T5 on this county class destroyer, but doesn't seem like it's going to be enough to finish the job off here. We can hope that it does a little bit more damage, but I don't think it's going to be enough, unfortunately, so I might have to either leave it and let it run, get on the other side of the convoy and just pick a few targets off from there, or we come back and we try and use a couple more torpedoes to finish the job, but don't really want to be wasting too many torpedoes on destroyers and things like that. We want to sink some tonnage today. It's the main objective. So we've got a ship on the right there which is totally isolated from the rest of the convoy. I don't know if I'm going to have enough time to pop up and shoot it down with the deck gun. But it seems like the convoy's all kind of breaking in half here. Got some going northeast and some going northwest. I don't know if they're going to regroup. We've got a Norwegian ship over there which we could probably shouldn't attack, but we may end up attacking. So we'll just have to get ourselves into another position here. Okay, we're back in position, and I think they've all calmed down enough now for us to do another attack. And I do think that it's going to be essential to get rid of this county class destroyer, because there's a couple of ships on this side which we could easily take down with the deck gun. But we're going to need to do a speed check just to double check that they have fully calmed down from the previous engagement. Looks like she's travelling fairly slow though. And stop the clock there. 7 knots, perfect. So we've only got 2 torpedoes left after this. So hopefully this single torpedo is going to be enough to finish the job here. Tube 2, fire away. Okay, good strike there. Got a fire on the deck as well. So the torpedo has done a fair amount of damage. Hopefully the fire is going to do a little bit more for us. You know she's done for the mast has fallen off. I know that when the masts fall off, it's trouble. Guaranteed a sinking now. So we'll just use a bit of time compression. Oh, what have we got? We've got a leak here. So yeah, she's fully damaged now. So it's just a case of her taking on enough water, but she is definitely going to be, worst case scenario, finished off with a deck gun. But hopefully she's going to go down all by herself. Now we've got a destroyer which seems to be firing at us. So let's head out, get away from this. Hopefully that thing's just going to either go down or sit there for the rest of its time. But we need to get moving now and avoid any contact with these other destroyers. And then I think we're going to be pretty much open to get up and use the deck gun, and should be able to take a few more names down. But if this destroyer right in front of us isn't going to go down by herself and we've got the opportunity, we'll just, should only be a couple of rounds with the deck gun if need be. And then these other 2 freighters, oh no, she has gone down now. She went down there. Can't see her. Plenty of sailors there for rescuing if we want to, but I don't really feel the need at the moment. Maybe we'll come back for them. Just a little bit worried about this ship here on our left. And they are pinging us now. So we are evasive maneuvers, and we might have to chuck another decoy out the back here. Just to get rid of her. So get down to 50-ish meters. And we'll grab our engineer. Chuck another pill out the back there for us, and if that thing sticks around in the area trying to find us, then that gives us an opportunity to get away, and then we'll surface up, try and take down some of these boats using our deck gun. Just need to make sure that we stay alive. Haven't died yet, so may as well try and keep it that way for the duration of the war. But I think we'll be pretty sweet now. So you back on the hydrophone, please. we need ears to know what we're getting into contact with. Okay, so there's a freighter in front of us. What's this small group to the right? I think it probably is other freighters as well. Slow down a bit so we can hear better. Yeah, we've got a couple of freighters here. So we're going to surface up and we'll have a bit of a surface engagement with the deck gun. Should be some easy pickings here. No defences on these boats. So yep, we've got a British boat here. And what have we got here? Another British Empire. So that's 2 targets. And what's this one? A Norwegian. Probably shouldn't attack it. Okay, so a bit of deck gun practice now for the captain. Just gonna be a little bit of back and forward with the armor piercing and the high explosive ammo. Front of the ship, back of the ship. And we'll just keep plugging away until she's done. So there's a ship back there, and I believe that is that destroyer that we were just running away from. So we kind of got to be quick about what we're going to do here. We don't want to be on the surface and let that thing get too close. So if we can take a ship or 2 down, and then we'll dive back down to avoid any contact with that ship again. So we'll just keep firing away here. Hopefully we'll take all 3 down without any damage. Alright, that's all 3 of the enemy freighters down. 1 more shot should finish that, hopefully. Still got a fair bit of ammo left on the deck gun. We could possibly sink another 1 or 2 if we can find any. But that destroyer must be right behind the conning tower because I can't see it. So we're going to head up to the northwest here and see what this thing is. So it's a Norwegian Empire. Well, they are allies of ours apparently. So we should probably not sink that. Not at this stage. We'll only sink Norwegian ships if the BDU tell us to sink a ship that happens to be Norwegian. Same with Swedish. They're a neutral country in the war, so we'll leave them out of it unless we're told not to. But the destroyer, I think it's a little bit far away, but there's no harm in trying. We'll take a pop shot or 2. You never know, we might get lucky. But it's quite hard to gauge how far away that thing is as to where I need to put my shot. There's no harm in trying. And maybe we'll just double back around and put a torpedo into it. Okay, so it's a damaged ship already. But I think we're kind of dreaming that we're going to sink it from here with a deck gun. and we're definitely not going to be able to get close enough to it to use the deck gun, because they'll just be launching shells from their deck guns as well. So that's not really a fight that we want to have to take. So we'll get down to periscope and we'll just double back and wait for that to come into sight of us, and hopefully we can sink it with a torpedo. As if she's not doing 7 knots though, it's going to be quite troublesome to try and get a good solution. So let's just take a look at you, see what you're up to. Can't remember which ship this is that we actually shot at. There's been a couple that are damaged but not finished, so let's just see if we can get a look through the periscope here. Not sure if it was the county class or a different one. So she should be just past 0. Okay, there she is. It's the one that's got her back end right into the water. So I don't know, we could probably chance a deck gun attack with it, but I think it's a bit risky. Like I said before, I haven't died yet and I don't want to. So we do have a torpedo or 2 left in the hold. We may as well use them. And if she's sitting that low in the water, it's going to be very difficult to actually gauge the speed because I can't see the back of the boat. So I don't know if it will count. Yeah, I think best just to guess. So we've got a few torpedoes, but we'll just send one and we'll see if one's going to be enough to finish her off. Okay, we've got a good hit there on that county class, and she is going straight down. That's all she needed, just that extra encouragement. So I kind of do think a few rounds of the deck gun would have done that, but that's a risky type of engagement. So that's good. Doesn't count for much, but we've got another ship that is not sunk down here. We'll go and finish that off. I think that was a freighter, so definitely worth getting down here and finishing it because we'll get credit for it. And we added to our tally at the end of the day. And that's why we're out here. We're trying to get as much tonnage as possible in the bank. So if you jump on the radio please and send all these messages back to BDU. Let them know that we've had a successful trip so far. And then you can go and have a rest. But we'll get down here and we'll finish this cargo ship up with the deck gun. Well, that should do it. Doesn't take too much to finish off a ship when they're sitting dead like that. It's normally just 1 or 2 shots. But she is going down, and that's going to be an extra 10,000 or so tons towards our trip, which is going to be good for us. Kind of like to get around at least 25. I like anything more than 30 is a very good outing, but today I don't know if we're going to get to that. Okay, so we've been out in the patrol sector and we have found ourselves another convoy, and looks to be quite a large convoy. So we may as well seek this opportunity. We've got a couple of torpedoes left over. We're not going to be able to engage all of it. And have we been spotted, or what is going on here? Why are they breaking off like that? Well, we've got a C3 there. So I see no harm in us trying to shoot something off. And if we can get an extra C3 under our belts, then that's going to be good news. But it's snowing, which doesn't affect us too much, but just makes it a little bit harder to see. So yeah, if we can sink another C3, that's going to be really good for the tally. But I don't really know what's happening if we've been spotted somehow, because it looks like the destroyers are all breaking away. But they weren't all coming straight for me, they were going left and right, so I don't know what they're up to. But we can just quickly do a recognition here and hope for the best if we just launch 2 torpedoes out at the C3. So I think we'll just guess 7 knots here. Yeah, look, they're all over the place. What's going on? Well, it is what it is. If we just launch 2 torpedoes, we may end up getting lucky. I'm trying to just make sure that the angle is going to be right, because they're not on the same angle that we had plotted out for them before that. So we'll just adjust and we'll just launch 2 torpedoes, and at the very least, if they do strike, that'll leave that thing dead in the water again, and we can let the rest of this convoy move on. And then we'll finish it up with the deck gun if we have to. But we've got to aim to hit the thing first, so let's just dive down and get out of here, because they're all going to sail right over us at the moment. What else have we got here? Got our Liberty. I wish I found this convoy earlier. There wasn't really much big stuff in the convoy that we were dealing with previously. There's some bloody big boats in here. Nice big tanker, C3, Liberties, probably heaps of small empires as well. Yeah, there's heaps of big stuff in here. Well, we would have had a great outing if this was the convoy that we found originally, but can't have it all our own way, so it is what it is, and we just crack on with it. Now these torpedoes, they look pretty good. I'm hoping that we're going to get a hit here. Can't be sure, but it's what we're hoping for. So let's just wait and see what happens. Well, it's not looking great. Thought they would have hit by now, or maybe they will, but it doesn't look too promising at the moment. And I dare say they're not going to hit the ship that's lagging behind either. Oh, so they've just run slightly behind it, and now they're turning. Oh, we got so unlucky there not to hit that boat at the outside. Are we going to get a lucky hit here on the C3? The torpedo looks like it's just going to turn right into the back of it. Let's just get a look. Come on, give us a hit. Just one hit would be good, because it would be enough to maybe stop the ship from moving. But it looks like another miss. Very unfortunate. We do still have 2 torpedoes left though, so we could possibly come back for another attack. Let's just have a look on the map there, what happened with our torpedo. Yeah, it's run right past it. Well, it's unlucky. They've all changed course for some reason, so we'll try and get into another position. I think we're still undetected. So we could come back around and then try and chase them down, get into a new position and go for a second attack. Maybe, maybe not. We've still got plenty to do though. We need to go and do the patrol. And we kind of need a couple of torpedoes for defense, just in case we get into a tricky situation. So I think we'll do the patrol and we'll try and find something if we can after, if we manage to do the patrol successfully without encountering any enemy ships. Okay, we've pretty much done the patrol and we've got this convoy here. It's the different convoy from the one previously, but they seem to be all over the show and that's not my doing. I haven't done anything yet. So I was going to try and engage with them. I've been kind of following them a little bit. But look at them, they're just all over the place. All of them. So I don't know if there's maybe another enemy sub in the area. Because when they... enemies... well, not enemy subs, but another German sub. When it's in the area, they can mess up your attacks. So I don't think I've noticed that another German U-boat is in the area. And they've probably done an attack and spooked the convoy. But that's right. No need to rush. Don't need to worry about it. We've already taken a few names today, so we'll just get on with it. And we'll head back to port now because we have finished our patrol. 2 torpedoes left in the bag, but we don't need them. So we'll head on back towards Bergen and we'll refuel and resupply. And we'll collect our medals and such. So March 17th, then we're back. So it's just a short patrol there, just over, well, 2 weeks-ish. Just under 2 weeks. Not too bad going, really. So a couple of guys here with their medals, good for them. Are we going to get a new medal today? Or are we just going to get some points? Just some points, but we are very close to the next medal. Oh, we are so close to the next medal. That's a little bit sad. So what have we done? Got a few names. Now it's not going to give us credit for any of the destroyers, obviously, but we did get 25,000 tons, which is, I would say, an acceptable outing. Kirov cruiser, that's got to be one of the best prizes. But yeah, pretty standard patrol. So we'll get on with it, we'll refuel up and we'll come back out and we'll do another attack. Hopefully we'll get to go into some different waters this time. Well, that's the end of the episode, guys, so thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below with where we're going to go after U-boat U764's campaign comes to an end. Would you like to do full first person from the start of the war to the end of the war, if we can make it that far? Or should we put a poll up on YouTube and I'll suggest a few games that I already have on Steam that I would be willing to play, or maybe you can suggest some of your own and we'll see what wins the vote, and we'll include U-boat into the poll so you have the option to vote for that or one of the other games, whatever you fancy. But you got to let me know, because if I don't get any suggestions then I don't know what I'm gonna do and I'll just end up making my decision myself and I'm not the one that has to watch it.